Merhabalar, akşamınız hayır. Benim adım Salman Hacı'dır ve bu benim emektaşım.
Teylova Hanım, herkese ben de salamlayıram. Good afternoon, everyone.
We are so happy to be here. Benim adım Salman Hacı'dır. Ben Amerika Seferliği'nin medeniyet işleri üzerine müşaviriyim. Ben Azerbaycan'da 1 yıl yarım yaşadım ve ben çok şadım ki ben ve hanım size bir neçe maslahat görebilerek. So today we'll be talking about our exchange programs, and as you see here, we have so many of them. So if there are any of you in the audience that have done an exchange program, please let us know. Put some love into the comments for us and tell us if you have any questions. We'll be answering them throughout the show. And we also want to know, where are you all from? So tell us in the comments where you're joining us from. Baku, Ganja, Sheki, Lankaran, to all corners of Azerbaijan. We wish you all the best. Herkese selamlayık.
Yeah.
So again, we'll be online for the next hour discussing our exchange programs and giving you an introduction, and then getting into tips and do's and don'ts when it comes to exchange program, interviews, applications, her şey. Yani mübadele programları hakkında her şey maslahat görecek. Biraz tips, yani maslahatlar ne etmelidir, ne etmemelidir. So we're excited. And I also want to take this opportunity to tell you about our new platform, Virtual American Spaces. This is a really great initiative that we are trying to launch as of today. We are going to have this platform on Facebook and Instagram to share a bit of American culture with our Azerbaijani audiences. This is to make sure that we can build our people-to-people relationship.
So stay tuned, because more interesting sessions will come up later. Yes.
Exactly. So without further ado, we are going to go to our presentation, and here we go. So how many of you know a little bit about our exchange programs? Please put in the comments any exchange programs you've heard of, you've applied to, if you've been on one, and we can feature you. All right, so first slide, Khanum.
Yes, so this is our agenda. We'll make sure that we cover a little bit about our programs, like general overview of our programs, and then we will introduce you programs for high school students, undergraduate students, programs for non-degree, professional non-degree programs and professional degree programs, and we'll also have application do's and don'ts and tips for successful interview. We'll also share our contact details so that you can contact us later and let us know about your questions.
Yes, but please contact us during business hours. No, I'm just kidding. You can email us at any time. All right, so why do we do exchange programs? We know everyone wants to go to America. This is an excellent opportunity for Azerbaijanis to go to the United States to learn, practice their profession, gain valuable skills, become leaders in any of these different fields that we provide. So we really do it to improve our people-to-people relationship. We want Americans to learn from Azerbaijanis. We want Azerbaijanis to learn from Americans. We want both countries to have this great partnership. And we do it through sending hundreds of Azerbaijanis every year on different exchange programs.
Yes, as we mentioned, we'll cover, the programs are listed like programs for high school students, so we'll talk about this later. And then for undergraduate students, degree programs and non-degree programs. So this is some nice, actually, photos from our participants from different programs. So you can see here, like Fulbright participant doing lab work, cultural visit, attending seminar workshops, and some great photos from the graduation ceremonies.
Great, and we see some people from Baku joining us.
Yes.
But we want to hear from the regions. Anyone from Khachmaz? Anyone from Lankaran? Biraz ses verin. All right, so we'll start with one of our most popular programs. This one is for high school students. So FLEX, Future Leaders Exchange Program. This is for high school students in the 11th grade, so their last year, who speak English well, and they're citizens of Azerbaijan. They haven't spent much time in the United States. and they want to go to the US for 1 academic year. They live with a host family. They go to an American high school. It's an excellent, excellent program. How can you apply? So we start recruiting for Flex in the fall. And so applications will come out, I think, September, October, and this is going to be on our website. We will put the link to the website in the chat for you, so you can go directly there and apply.
Yeah.
These are our Flex students who just went last year. They were at the airport. We were so happy to see them at 4 in the morning and wish them farewell. These are some of our most active alumni. They love their time in the US, then they come back and they do great things. Flex is one of the longest running programs. We just celebrated 30 years of the Flex program in Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
So really, really important, great program.
Yeah, and we have over 1,000 alumni in Azerbaijan. So
yeah, great program.
Yeah.
These are some activities that the Flex students have done. They go from our embassy, we wish them farewell. They have these wonderful host dinners, enjoying wonderful American food. We have our own version of levengi. It's called turkey for Thanksgiving. Doing National Day presentations, Boy Scouts, etc. All right, so we have our next program.
Yeah. Benjamin Franklin Transatlantic Fellowship Program, which is also for high school students. So this is a short-term program. So compared to Flex, this is a short program consisting of 4-week long in the United States. So the program starts end of June and lasts until end of July. This is for students who are aged between 16 to 18, and and one of the eligibility requirements is to be current or former participant of the embassy-initiated programs, and candidates should be highly proficient in English language, and they should also be active in community service, should have great leadership skills. And the program usually, the application period usually opens around January and lasts until mid-February. So we also closed this application period and selected participants for the upcoming cohort.
Yes, so this is one of our most competitive programs. We only select one lucky finalist every year. So make sure your application is really, really great. And to do that, make sure you stay to the end of this show so we can tell you how to make your application stand out.
Yeah.
Our next program are the study of the U.S. Institutes for Student Leaders. We affectionately call this the SUSI program, SUSI. To do this program, you will need to be proficient in English, between 18 and 25 years old, have at least 1 semester left in your university, and have some leadership qualities and experience. So this program will be 5 weeks in the summer in the United States. You will be at a university campus, going to seminars about the United States, our society, our history, learn more about that. And you also have field trips outside the classroom. So really great program. This is typically between November and December is when the application period starts. Again, you can find all of this on our website. So we'll put that link in the chat.
Yeah, this is another great program, actually, one of the most competitive programs in Azerbaijan, called Global UGRUD, or Global Undergraduate Exchange Program. So net eligibility criteria includes, of course, being a citizen of Azerbaijan, residing in Azerbaijan, studying at one of the local higher education institutions, being over 18 years old, and the candidate should have at least 1 year remaining at the home institutions upon the completion of the program. So when the candidate is back, he or she should have at least 1 year remaining in Azerbaijani university. And of course, we also expect the candidates to speak a good level of English and have a solid command of also written English language, and selected candidates also pass TOEFL exam. This is also one of the requirements at a later stage. So this program, Global UGRUD, is also a fully funded program. This is a semester-long non-degree academic exchange. So participants either go to the United States for a fall semester or spring semester, and they are assigned to US college or university. So program's aim isn't only equip the students with the academic skills knowledge, but also participants gain knowledge about the community service, voluntary activities.
Yes, so and to those of you who are joining us, welcome, hoş geldiniz. Çok şadam ki siz bizimle koşuldunuz. Biz mübadele programları hakkında danışarak bir neçe maslahat verecek bu takdimatlardan sonra. So now we are going to the Fulbright programs. Fulbright is a name that you might have heard already, talked about in at home with your friends. It's a very prestigious program, and we have several Fulbright programs that we have. If you're a teacher, if you're a researcher, you're going to school, or you're a professional. So these are really a wide range of different programs.
Yeah.
We have them listed out here for you. We're not going to speak about each one of them, but I want you to go to our website, and if you're interested in one of these specific programs, you can do that research there. So please consider applying. These are non-degree programs, which means you'll be spending some time in the United States, but you won't be getting a degree. It's just for extra extra practice and being in the United States for the cultural experience.
Yes, another non-degree program. This is SUSI for secondary educators. So we have two non-degree SUSI programs. So one for secondary educators, one for scholars. For secondary educators, again, one of the eligibility requirements is to be citizen of Azerbaijan. The program is for mid-career professionals aged between 30 and 50. So we expect the participants to be highly motivated and also experienced, and they should also be motivated about learning the U.S. education system, and they should also have a plan how they're going to integrate U.S. studies into their curriculum or teaching practice once they are back.
Yes, and we see a really great question in the audience. What happened to the Edmund Muskie Graduate Fellowship Program? Great question. This is one thing I also asked when I came here. The first time I was hearing Muskie, and I'd never heard of the program before. Yeah, so this was a program that I think was only in a few countries, including Azerbaijan. I've met amazing Muskie alumni. If you're in the audience, please raise your hands. Tell us if you're a Muskie alumni, what your experience was like. And I think the reason why this program was discontinued, but because it was just way too good and it was just amazing, and the program led to different programs being born after it. So, you know, we hope that one day it'll come back, but we have excellent programs besides the Muskie, so we're happy for that. We have different SUSI programs. So the previous one was for secondary educators.
Yeah.
SUSI for scholars is for those that are in their mid-career and speak really good English. They want to go to the United States to learn more about the U.S. education system, specifically on U.S. studies. So if, for example, you're here in Azerbaijan teaching U.S. studies, American studies, anything that are kind of related to the United States and our values, this program will send you to the United States to get this kind of practicum.
Yeah. And I see some people are watching us from Sheki, Kaçmaz, Gabela. Herkese salamları.
Yes. Special shout out to those of you that are fasting.
Yes.
Oruç tutan insanlara destek vererek ve Navruz mübarek olsun, Ramazan ayınız mübarek olsun. I hope this helps you distract yourself from fasting a little bit before iftar.
Yeah.
All right.
Another, yes, again, one of the most competitive programs in Azerbaijan called Fulbright Foreign Student Program. This is for those who want to study master's degree in the United States, and program lasts, well, depending on, of course, the program, the field, 1 to 2 academic years. And in order to be eligible, the participants should be residing in Azerbaijan, be a citizen of Azerbaijan, and they should, of course, complete the undergraduate education in order to be eligible for master's degree. We also expect the participants to have a good command of English language skills. So as this is one of the competitive programs, we actually get hundreds of applications. So the program usually opens around May, and the whole recruitment process runs throughout the summer period, and we close out we nominate the people by the end of September, so that then participants get ready for next academic year and study their graduate studies in the United States around August. So.
All right. Yes, and we have many awesome Fulbright alumni that are in every single field. It's a very big program, also very competitive. All right, we are now at our most popular, most important part of the presentation. What should you do and what should you not do during the application process? So number one, do not forget your reason for applying throughout the application. Think about why you're doing this. Why do you want to go to the United States? Why do you want to be part of this specific group of cohorts that is going on this program? Maybe you met someone, an alumni from this exchange program that influenced you, that inspired you to do this program. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe your brother, your sister, a parent did this program and they really came back to Azerbaijan with this fresh mindset, and that's exactly what you want. Maybe you need the cultural experience in the United States for your business or for your studies. Maybe you want to improve your English. Don't forget why you're applying. And the reason is because you will need to tell us why you want to go. There are hundreds of applicants that apply for our exchange program every day. And we want to know why are you applying and what makes you unique. So now we'll go into our next set of tips. If you have specific questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the comments. All right.
Yes, first do actually is make sure you're eligible. I will tell from my own experience that we receive great applications, like great applicants with like outstanding essays, reference letters, like complete applications, but unfortunately the applicant isn't eligible. Either it's because of the age or educational background or work experience. So please make sure that you're eligible before actually starting your application. As we said before, all information about each program is available on our website. So you can look through our website and find out that program and again read the eligibility requirements before submitting your application. So this is our number one tip.
Yes, and to everyone out there watching this, biraz bu maslahatleri görmeyeceksiniz. Yani bir diğer arada. O zaman siz bu şekil çekin. Sizin telefonunuzdan yoksa kompüterden bu prezentasyondan şekil çekebilirsiniz. Then you can have it to refer to next time. The next tip we have here is to follow the instructions carefully. Yeah. As Khanum said, we have received so many applications that are not eligible because they didn't follow the instructions. Maybe they didn't submit an essay. Maybe they wrote more than we can accept. Each application has specific instructions. They will say how many words each part should have. They will have these instructions to make sure that your application is correct and complete. So please complete your application, make sure you follow the instructions and submit everything that is required. If there is something optional, it will say optional. If it doesn't say optional, what should you do? You should submit it. Exactly. So please follow the instructions. If there is an essay prompt, a question that says, please answer this question, please make sure you answer the question. And that's really, really important. Yeah. Yeah, and our next tip next to is be unique. Tell us about the experiences that have shaped you and how. So we put it here because, again, we receive many applications and we'd say that most of them, unfortunately, are not unique. They are too generic, very many general statements and nothing about the candidates' experiences, nothing about candidates' knowledge. So actually, I would say that before submitting your application, it would be good to review it as a reviewer, not as a candidate. So imagine that someone who doesn't know you reviews your application. So make sure that whatever you put there stands out and you tell us a compelling story. Yes, right. Exactly. And the next tip, choose your references wisely. Many of these applications require references, 1 to 2, maybe professors, co-workers, supervisors, that know you well and can speak to how great you are. Choose them wisely. Do not choose someone that you think doesn't particularly like you or maybe won't get it done for you. Choose someone that you trust and give them what they need to write excellent references about you. Make sure they know in advance that you want them to write something for you. These professors particularly are very busy, especially right now. They have exams, they have a lot of work to do. Please let them know in advance. Could you please write reference for me, 1 page or whatever the criteria are? Please mention these points. I would be happy to provide you a draft. This is excellent practice.
Yeah.
Make sure that they are aware of your accomplishments before they send us a reference, because if they don't, then they can't. You're basically losing an opportunity to tell us how great you are.
Just before moving on, I see that there are some UGRAD alumni saying hi. Our participant from Nebraska. Hello everyone who's watching us. Hi Cassie, salam alaikum. The next one is please proofread the application before submitting. So this is also another very important tip why we include it here, because sometimes the applications, again, they might be great, but unfortunately, candidates do not proofread them before submitting. There are lots of grammar mistakes or errors, which make it look very unprofessional. So therefore, we would advise you to proofread, check, and please check again before submitting the application. Make sure that you've included everything that you want to be there, and just check again everything, essays, reference letters, like everything you put there. So
yeah, exactly. There are many times where I've read an application and there's a misspelling, there's a comma missing, a period missing. It's not going to automatically disqualify you, but it does reflect poorly on how much you revised. One idea is to give a friend or a teacher or someone your application to read. They can proofread it with fresh eyes and give you that valuable feedback. Another idea is to read your essay out loud. So when you speak it, it might give you a better idea of how it sounds to us. And remember, we read hundreds of these essays, so you want to make sure yours is good. The next tip is to clearly demonstrate your motivation to participate in the program. This goes back to the first one that I talked about. Why do you want to do this program? We all know that everyone might want to go to the United States, go to New York or LA or Florida and see all the sights and be a tourist. But this is not a tourist program. This is a cultural and educational exchange program. Why do you want to go on this specific program? Do you want to take a specific class? Do you want to know what an American campus looks like? Do you want to meet Americans and talk about specific topics? Do you want to bring back something to Azerbaijan that will improve your community?
Yeah.
Tell us what your motivation is.
Yeah. And next tip, next do actually, is hook us into reading the rest of your story. I think we a little bit maybe covered this part, but it's again worth to mention that you should again include very specific information about like either in the essays or personal statement about yourself that makes us read the rest of your application, what makes you stand out, the reason, or as someone mentioned before, maybe someone that you inspired to apply for this program, or a quote, or someone prominent person who is your role model. So something that is kind of compelling and looks attractive, like makes your application attractive.
Yeah, again, we read a lot of these applications, so we want to make sure your first sentence is the one that hooks us and gets our attention. Tell us something that, wow, surprising, shocking, inspiring. It should bring out emotion when someone reads that first sentence. So you have to be very creative and try to get something meant out of all the drafts that you're writing. So now we'll go to our don'ts on the right side of our presentation. The number one, and one of the reasons why we disqualify a lot of our applications, is do not plagiarize. Do not copy and paste without citing the particular source that you're getting information from. If you're looking for a specific, essay, inspiration, it's not great that you're just going to go and steal someone else's work and copy and paste it into yours. For us, we can very easily find it, and it's not easy for you to hide.
Yeah.
And even if it's maybe one sentence or two sentences, that will still disqualify you from the program. Remember, we value you as a unique applicant. We do not want you to be like everyone else. We don't choose applications that, could be someone else. So please do not plagiarize.
Yeah, and our next don't is please do not repurpose other program applications. So we often, I think, come across with this cases that applicants again just copy paste, or they do not actually read the programs. They don't read the description of the programs. They don't understand the programs well, and they just copy paste. Or they have applied, for example, for any other governmental scholarship or state scholarship before, and they have the essays or personal statement ready, and they just copy paste from there. For example, if you're applying for Fulbright or SUSI, please make sure that you understand the purpose of the program and make your essays and writings accordingly.
Right. The third don't we have is do not forget to tell us how this program will help you in the future. You're basically answering one question. So what? Yani, what are you going to do with this exchange program? We're sending you to the US. We're paying for everything. Why? What is this going to give you in the end, the end game? Is there something big planned that you want to do? Tell us what you're going to do with this experience. And that will make your application really great.
Yeah. And our next, do not miss the deadlines. That also happens as making sure you are eligible. So do not miss the deadline. We again receive the applications after the deadline ends. So please make sure that you submit them beforehand. Make sure that your essays, your reference letters are ready beforehand, so that when you want to submit them, you're not late. Because again, we receive applications that are complete and all the information is there. Essays are well written, but unfortunately it's 1 or 2 days later. And in order to be fair, unfortunately we cannot accept those applications, and those applicants are immediately we do not accept their applications, and they are not shortlisted. So this is important. Again, deadline information is available on each program's announcement, so make sure that you check them beforehand. And I would say that actually the application period stays open for 1.5 months, and for some programs 2 months. So we make sure that applicants have enough time to work on the applications and to submit them.
We do not give extensions to deadlines.
Yes.
We are very sorry. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. We are very strict about the deadline. We don't really extend deadlines. So what you see is what the deadline is. So don't depend on an extension. Our next tip is do not give up. There are many applications, many applicants who have submitted applications for exchange programs once, twice, 3 times before they get accepted. Each try is an opportunity to make your application better. Compare your application this year to last year. What have you improved? What kind of experiences have you gained? And how is your writing reflecting all of that? So this is a great way for you to show, yes, I applied before. This is what I've changed. This is what I'm better in. And, hopefully this presentation will give you this support for the coming exchange program application.
And we actually have alumni who got the attempt from fifth, got the chance from fourth, fifth, sixth attempt. So it's worth to try. Yeah. And the next one is do not use lengthy flowery language. Yes, please. This is very actually important because again, candidates use very long sentences and they think that maybe it shows that they have great language skills, or but actually not, because if your application is simple to read, to understand, because the reader might not be professional in your field, so might not be like understanding your field very well. So it's better to keep it simple, not lengthy, and not using like it. We also recommend you not to use very descriptive sentences. So because there is not really like there is a word limit in, for example, essays or personal statements. So make sure that you put there not descriptive, but information that tells your story, and concise, and as we said, simple.
Ya, ben Leyla ve Mecnun okumayı çok severim ama siz Nizami Gencevi değilsiniz. O zaman siz bu aplikasyaya you need to use concise language. Please keep in mind that we have hundreds of these applications to read.
Yeah.
You want to get your point right away to the reviewers. And we want to make sure that your point is being made very directly. Tell us who you are. Tell us about your story up front. I know that this is maybe culturally very different. Maybe in Azerbaijan, you use much longer sentences and you set the scene. It takes you a few paragraphs to tell the story, but we don't have that time in the space in the application. So try to be more direct.
Yeah.
Don't use passive language, use direct verbs and active verbs. The next one is do not rely on ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. So I know I do it, you do it, everyone does it. ChatGPT is a great resource. Great resource. You can use it to plan a lot of things in your life, give you ideas, talk to someone, bounce off a few ideas. We're not discouraging you from using it. However, do not rely entirely on this software. We will not look favorably on essays or parts of your application that are generated entirely from ChatGPT or other AI tools, because simply we want this to be a unique candidate. And when another software writes your application, number one, it doesn't show us what kind of student or what kind of skills you have. Most of our programs that are educational rely on good writing skills because you'll need these writing skills in the United States on your program. It shows us that you also have good English language skills. And then also, we rely on the application about you telling us about your uniqueness. And when a robot like ChatGPT writes about you, it doesn't really tell us who you are. No matter how much you give ChatGPT, I just don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see ChatGPT kind of showing you who you are, showing us who you are, rather. Yeah. So please try to focus most of your efforts on writing your own statement. You can maybe ask ChatGPT for synonyms, ways to improve your vocabulary, to spell check. Use Microsoft Word to spell check there are many free tools out there on the internet that can improve your writing. Yeah. But don't have those tools write your entire application.
Yeah. Next one is...
And while we're going into more of these, please in the comments tell us, from alumni especially, any tips that you have that we missed. Yeah. So we're going to go now to the interviews.
Ve hatırlatma etmek isterdik, belki bize yeni qoşulanlar var. Biz mübadilə proqramları haqqında və həmçinin də ərizə və intervyular üçün belə deyək, məsləhətlərimizi sizinlə bugün paylaşırıq və suallarınız varsa yazar bilərsiniz, çünki biz sonda onları cavablandıracağıq. So we can start discussing some tips for successful interview. So first is listen to the interview questions carefully. So why we put it here? Because sometimes, again, the candidates they do not listen to the questions at all. They start talking about something else. So because there's always limited time during the interview, so you have like, let's say 2-3 minutes per question, and if you waste that time not answering the question, then unfortunately you will also lose your score. So before you start actually answering, make sure that you understand the questions and you give the right answers to them.
Exactly. And feel free to ask to us to repeat the question. We know that, sometimes I speak really fast. I know that sometimes you're stressed out and you don't hear what we said. Maybe I'm speaking with an accent. Ask us to repeat the question. That is totally fine. We don't hold that against you. The second tip is to come to the interview prepared and to read the instructions. Before you are coming to the interview, we email the candidates to tell them where and when you should show up. And there might be instructions in there about what to bring, how to dress. This goes for any interview. Just make sure you're prepared. And later on, we'll talk about practicing.
Yeah. And our next tip is be concise and honest with your answers. Again, time is limited. Your time is limited during the interview. So being concise actually saves you time. And also honest with your answers. This is also very important because we want to know about you, about who you are, your skills, your knowledge, what you're going to do in the United States, what you're going to do after you come back. So it's always better to be honest, not to, as we said, not plagiarize during the application process. So do not actually also plagiarize or tell someone's ideas, someone's story instead of yours. So
yeah, and being concise is really important because we interview, again, if we receive 1,000 applications for all our exchange programs, we are still interviewing maybe 200, 300 people. That's a lot of people to get through. And we don't have much time. We might have 15 to 20 minutes per candidate and 5 questions each. And when you do the math, that's 2 to 3 minutes per question. So you want to make sure that you tell us the answer right away, and then give us supporting examples.
Yeah.
Don't go too much into long answers. That doesn't reflect well. We have a few comments in the section on Facebook here that I just like to point out from Chingiz. Thank you, Chingiz, for your question. You are asking why we don't get feedback. Why we don't give feedback for interview results?
Yeah.
So for example, Susie, yes. So I totally understand the need to provide feedback. I appreciate when I get feedback for something I didn't do well. The unfortunate thing is we just cannot make that effort. We have way too many interviewed applicants. Again, we interview 200, 300 minimum each year, and we cannot provide individualized feedback to everyone. This is one way we are doing the feedback. We are combining everything into this presentation so that everyone can kind of see what we look for. So thank you and for understanding. But these are really great tips that we can give you today. Masha Gusenova, Amerikan merkezlerine vaxt açılacak. Biz de umid ederek ki çok yakında açılacak. We are doing this great virtual American Spaces, initiative where we can reach even more people out there. And, we have people from Shaki, we have people from Masalı, Kachmaz, Gabala joining us today. So we are going to have many, many activities here for now. We also have wonderful activities planned through our alumni programs, our English language programs. So please follow us on social media to know when and where we're going to be hosting these in-person and virtual programs.
Yeah.
Shall we go to the next one?
Sure.
Okay.
So next one is show your interest and confidence. This is another important tip that we would like to recommend you. So during the interview, of course, we ask questions. We might ask questions about you, yourself, your skills, but also your interest about the specific program. So make sure that you actually understand the program very well and understand why you are interested in that program, and you give us the right answer. And we are also looking for participants who are confident, because you're going to an exchange program. You're going to also present your country, to be a cultural ambassador in the United States. So it's important to have confidence. Of course, we're gonna we just have a chance to see your confidence during the interview. So come prepared, be confident, and make sure that you are able to show your interest.
Yeah, and on that, confidence is important, but this might not be the traditional sense of confidence where, you're imagining a Superman or a superwoman coming in and standing up and telling us everything. No, that's great. But the confidence that we are also looking for is that you know why you want to go on this program. You can tell us very easily without having to think much, or, it's clear that you want to go on this program. It's clear why this program, and it's clear what you want to do when you come back. That tells us that you're confident that this program is right for you. So going back, because I think we skipped the one on number 4, give concrete examples. Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about this one. To tell you more, we are looking for concrete examples to say this person has done this, this, and this, and this is why we should nominate them for an exchange program. To give you a better idea of how to answer that question, ask yourself what, how, and why. So what did you do, or what have you accomplished? How did you do this, and how did you accomplish it, and why did you do this? So to give you an example of a concrete example, let's say you held a training on English language for your class. So the what is, I organized a training for 3 weeks with 25 of my colleagues who are English language teachers. How did I do it? I invited a guest expert from the United States to talk about English language methodologies in our classroom once a week for 3 weeks. Why did I do it? Because I want to improve the English language capacity of teachers in my region of Azerbaijan. I am motivated to improve English language so that we can have more educational exchanges with the United States. That's a great example. And it shows us that you have the experience and you have the leadership. That's exactly what you should look for.
So next one is practice, but do not memorize your answers. Yes, because we again see sometimes see the candidates who start answering the questions, but it's very actually obvious that they memorize their answers, because at some point they might forget and they start thinking about their answers. And we'd like just to say that it's very obvious to the interview panel that the candidate memorized the answers. They might have, again, great skills, great knowledge, great English language, but please do not memorize your answers. You can, of course, practice. We included here that you can practice the questions, your answers. As we said before, come prepared, but make sure that you do not memorize and you're just honestly answering the questions.
Exactly. And last but not least, you need to come to the interview with a unique picture. You need to paint a unique picture of who you are. I have listened to only a handful of applicants in front of me who make me stop breathing, because their stories are so captivating. They've been through some really incredibly enlightening experiences, inspiring candidates, and that is the quickest way to say, okay, you have passed the interview. Tell us who you are. Tell us why you're unique. What makes you unique from everyone else that we're interviewing? And I encourage you to just sit down and think about this. Do some self-reflection. How are you different from your friends? How are you different from your coworkers? What have you done, or where do you come from, or what is your family like? What kind of difficulties have you overcome to get to where you are today? That tells us a lot about who you are and what you can accomplish. So please make sure that is really important to highlight. We are now coming to the end of this. Here is contact information. go to our website. This is where we put all of our exchange programs and update this on a weekly, monthly basis with new programs.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can email this bakueducation@state.gov. We will try to be prompt with responding, but a lot of the questions that you might have are actually found on our website.
Yeah.
The answers are found there, and where you are now, our Facebook page, but we also have an Instagram page at USM Baku, and we also have our @Virtual American Spaces on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can follow us on both pages. We also have our Education USA page. Education USA is our education advising service, which is completely free. They know about all our exchange programs. They know about university programs in the United States. You can have a personal advising session with one of our experts to tell you which program is right for you, which university is right for you, and how to find the scholarships and apply for them.
Yeah.
Great. So that comes to the end of this presentation.
Yeah.
I know we might have some questions, so we have a bit of time. If any one of you has any questions, please put them in the chat. We'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah.
You don't have us forever, so give us all your questions now.
Yes.
To start with, Orhan Bashirli, will the video recording of this live session be posted on the page? If you could post, it would really be useful for us who missed the first half of the session. Thank you in advance. Yes, we will keep this live on the page, but please, I'm going to go back to the presentation if you need to take any pictures of the tips.
Yeah.
Here we go. While we are waiting for people to ask questions, I'm going to pull up the presentation again.
Sure.
Just so we can have those tips for people. Here we go.
Yeah. Great.
All right. Interview, photo check-in, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Application tips, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to everyone. If there are no questions, then we will end this live. For those of you who still have questions, you have our contact information. Send us a line. Just comment. You can comment on this page. It'll stay up, and we can go back and answer you as well.
And one small note to make. So we mentioned our website and where you can find the information about the program. So if you see that the deadline is old, we wanted to say that the new programs will be opening, upcoming months. So we'll make sure that they're posted, and also follow us on social media, because we always highlight the new programs there. We highlight great alumni success stories and their tips. So just make sure that you follow us as well.
Hamınıza Navruz mübarek olsun, Ramazan bayramınız mübarek olsun ve herkese xoşbəxt, yaxşılıq, uğur ve umid ederim ki size gelen programı, yani Virtual American Spaces'in programlarınıza davet ederek. Teşekkürler.
Çok sağ olun. Stay tuned. Bye.